Welcome back to the Midlothian Home. In the last video we went through the demo of our kitchen, but before we start the reconstruction phase, let me show you how the kitchen is looking right now. Behind the scenes, I removed all the drain pipes from the kitchen sink and from the two bathrooms upstairs. My drain pipes were a mix of materials. I had copper, cast iron, and galvanized pipes. The cast iron and the copper pipes were not difficult to remove, but the galvanized ones, those gave me a headache. Using the reciprocating saw took forever to cut through a 2-inch pipe, and my blades were dull before I could cut through them. When I did manage to remove the pipes, so much corrosion had built up that the ID shrunk almost by half. After removing the drain pipes, it was time to remove the water lines. These, for some reason, they were in better condition and were much easier to cut. I had two options, copper or PAX. I chose PAX because it was cheaper and easier to install. PAX is also more forgiving and you basically run it as if it was an electrical wire. I didn't record any of the process of removing the pipes because I had taken 2 days, Monday and a Friday. So in total I had 4 days and I had to finish the plumbing as fast as possible so that we could continue living in this house. So for that reason, you won't get to see the stressful process because it took me 4 days to completely remove all the plumbing. In the future, we plan on remodeling the basement, and each time I thought about the layout and how I would cover the pipes, I realized that I messed up. The drain pipes are installed correctly, but it's too low. This is the path to our laundry, and having a pipe so low means I couldn't cover it or use a bolt head because it would be less than 6 feet, and that didn't make any sense. I decided to remove the long pipe and place it along the joist. If I had more experience doing this would have made more sense and I should have done that from the start. But since I don't, you live and you learn. PVC was much easier to cut than galvanized, so it didn't take long to remove it and to replace it. Just like before, I didn't record this process because I'm a total noob plumber and I needed to concentrate so that I wouldn't screw it up. Alrighty, let's see. Let's try to take this thing out. Ooh, ew. Gross. Here is the final layout of the drain pipes, and I'm much happier with these results. Next, I needed to remove the laminate floors and hope it would have some hardwood floors, like the rest of the house. But of course, it did not. That means I would have to install hardwood floors to match the rest of the house. The plywood, where the laminate was glued onto, had a million nails. It was so hard to remove, and it didn't help that I didn't use a brake bar. If I had used a pry bar from the beginning, it would have been much easier to remove the plywood. I ended up cutting the plywood into smaller sections so that it was easier for me to remove it. The flooring removed, it was time to start wiring the kitchen. Since I had to run new wires to the kitchen, I had removed a few of the outlets and lighting because I had taken a couple of the walls down. I might as well replace as much of the wiring as I could. At this point, a kitchen remodel was turning into a whole house remodel. If you haven't noticed by now, I'm not a plumber, a carpenter, or an electrician, but I bought a couple of electrical books and watched a ton of YouTube videos. Didn't share much of the details about what I did because I didn't want others to follow my steps. This should just be pure entertainment. Finally, we get to install the drywall. Adding the drywall was a huge milestone, especially because we had this wall exposed for months and it looked like we were never going to finish. I'm terrible at drywall, and no matter how many times I measure, I always cut it too short. Especially when it comes to cutting the electrical outlets, it blows my mind how I always cut it wrong. With the drywall fully installed, I can start adding the tape and the mud on all the joints. Here we are, the hardwood floors have been installed, the light switches are working, and the outlets have power. We still have a lot to do, but we're in the final phase of this kitchen renovation. So don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.